Start recording, and it is July 8th, 2017, 11:14 a.m. And this is the what's becoming the R-Chain identity meeting, which is collaboration with Bring Your Own Identity and other communities that are trying to build interoperable identities. Let's see what we have on the agenda. You have the agenda.
Looking that up.
There isn't much on there. Oops. Wrong thing. The link is in the chat. So what we have is the Sovereign Trust Framework. Some of us watched, participated in the webinar that they had on Zoom with Drummond Reed leading. We were encouraged greatly to participate in the working group, which unfortunately it's not clear we have time to work on it. We're trying to apply it. There is a new draft of the spec, and you know, I mean, what's not to like? It does everything. We had a lot of discussion afterwards about zero knowledge proofs and how you can prove a whole set of attributes with one proof. Was not technical discussion, but just a practical discussion. And I was hoping Ian would join us today because I missed the beginning, which I think he caught. I don't know if you caught any of it, Glenn.
No, but did you ask if I recorded it?
It was not recorded.
Okay. Yeah, actually, it's
recorded. Didn't show up.
Okay. It's the same content. If you go to the Sovereign website, there's a primary document, and it's really all the same images. It's really the same stuff.
Yeah, they just released it, a new release, and I'm sure it's on the website.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then we have the Rock ID parity-based dashboard with ID claim proofs, and this is really for the know your customer aspects of the co-op. ALM. And essentially what that is let's see, we got parity here. I'm sorry. For some reason it doesn't give me my bottom.
I'm new to parity.
Yeah. And
parity browser.
Me too.
Okay.
For some reason I lost my tab here. But I can just.
Okay, I've got it.
On this parity. Okay. And the parity, well, it runs a parity Ethereum node on your machine. This is out of the box. It's not a mining node. It's just your own node, so that everything's
Okay.
kept on
To hold a wallet, and essentially to hold is my guess to interact with Ethereum network, but it's a client to Ethereum 5. Yeah.
Yeah. It wants me to install. So you start later. Sorry, I have it in Firefox because I'm using MetaMask in Chrome and I'm using Parity in Firefox right now because Ether Delta doesn't seem to want to work right with Parity. That issue, I had some problems, and once an account is verified with MetaMask, it seems like you can't get that account to work in Parity. Yeah, I can't remember exactly. Okay, so in any case, you're familiar with Parity. I mean, it's a
I'm reviewing it now, and I get it.
Yeah, it's a dashboard, and here we want to put on the home page. We want to have this be the links for the community and the accounts that are used. Okay, currently we have the Rock Activist account, which myself and Jacob control, which is sponsored rocks that don't come from the co-op. They come from our chain fan and Divvy Dow through Divvy Dow.
Can you explain that a little bit more? I'm not sure I understand that. So where did the original rocks probably came from the co-op?
Yeah, what it was, 25,000 amps were donated by Scenario Fan, who became
By who? I'm sorry.
Who became our chain fan. He's a
Okay.
He's a chief of operations for a multinational bank out of Singapore.
Wow. Okay.
And he wanted to, he was interested in doing a private ICO of Divvy Dow. Us doing a private, and we're still preparing for that. But he basically gave us the 25,000 amps to do with what we want. And it's been agreed that we're going to support the Bring Your Own ID project, the Divvy University, and the Archain community. So we have 10,000 rocks here for the Archain community, and we had 10,000 here also for Bring Your Own Identity. So this is a budget that we can use.
Sure, to reward people for working and contributing.
Right.
I guess, yeah.
Okay, what we have.
Where did you say there's a what was the university thing that you mentioned? Something about
Divvy University. Yeah, the work studies. Like the Archain new group. There's a Giveth work study. There's a.
Is that Archain specific or just all blockchain stuff?
No, it's mostly Archain related. But
I hope you don't mind me asking, Elise, what does Divvy stand for?
It doesn't stand for anything. It's DivvyDAO.org has is a community with two projects. It's a Colorado LLC, And managers include HJ and Plant Eater, and I guess Kit's not a manager, but he's a contributor.
Right.
I guess he's a manager of projects anyway, insofar as he has time.
Okay.
But, yeah, he's contributing. I mean, a lot of the activity in Divi is under the covers on, developing a plan for funding and such.
Okay.
I always thought that the name divvy referred to divvying up proceeds or profits or income.
And actually not. It's about divvying up the work and developing the things we all need for interoperable communities.
Okay, well, that works too.
All our communities have the same need, and if we, we can either all solve the same problem 10 times or once.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's about the Divi token as a proof of cooperation. And, okay, so I'm looking here for the proofs, and let me go into my primary account. There's a verify option here, and we have phone number verification, and we have email verification. And it does so, it's a privacy protection verification so that you can prove that the holder of this account controls this phone number and this email address. And so whatever account we associate with an activist, or they pay dues to the cooperative with, we can get these proof factors for ALM, and so what we have.
This is all part of parity. Is that correct?
This is all part of parity, and what we were doing is we're modifying parity. Okay, so that it becomes the rock dashboard or the R-chain dashboard eventually. I mean, for now it's rocks. Later it'll be reds. But and the Divi is planning the exact same thing, Divi dashboard. Okay, so it's really a matter of just tailoring it for the community and developing it for all communities.
Did you have to pay Ether to get this SMS verification?
Yes. The email verification is free, but the SMS verification costs about $1.50. Now, we may be able to do it cheaper, but that's not bad. I mean, it's okay.
Yeah.
Support.
Yeah, no,
it supports the people that provide this service.
exactly. I'm just asking you.
Okay, but in the contract that we, the prototype contract that we made for our training, we're doing mailing address verification, and so we would want to add a button for that in here as well, when we do that, or as we add factors. So,
I'm sorry. What kind of what additional verification?
Mailing address. Postal mailing address.
Got it.
Okay, we send them a code, and then they execute a contract. Okay, that links their Ethereum account with the address verification. Okay, so
And this contract,
so under contract here, we would have, we would have the rock contract, of course, but we would also have it come with a. This remembers all the contracts you use, and apparently this is all I used here. But at this point in parity, but the so we can add a contract here for the verification. So you would just send the code
Yep.
With an operation here. We in the settings here, you can choose what features you're going to show along the top row. So we can also add other applications in the top row here if we want. But what we're looking to do, right? What I've done so far is installed parity from the repository, and did a build in a VirtualBox machine here, where I have all the source code and I got an error in the build here, which is currently on the agenda for the work study group. And we started this with Matt and Chloe in a new work study. And we'll continue it. I don't think we want to continue it here and now, although in principle, we do want to get some work done in these work studies or the working group if we can, but usually after we get done with any business and information. The other thing we wanted,
that was you trying to compile parity. Is that what you were doing?
Yeah.
And it's written in what language?
It's written in Rust. But I think.
Yeah, I thought that's what I saw there.
Yeah. So you will have to also have some work studies on learning Rust. But it looks real easy to, just modify some of the pages to suit our needs.
Right. I would guess those are, I don't know, is it all in Rust, or are those in like, it looked like the HTML to me, but maybe not.
Yeah, I haven't gone through I haven't looked through the code much. It's some kind of templating.
Yeah.
So, any questions or comments on the rock dashboard?
Yeah. Actually, I have one simple question, which is that contract that checks the email. Does that confirm that somebody has a working email address, but it doesn't actually record the address on the blockchain, or it's a hash?
Yeah, it doesn't. It'll prove the address, but not expose it. It's a hash.
Not reveal it. Okay.
I haven't actually used it, but that's how I understand it.
Uh-huh.
I would guess same for the phone number and also for the mailing address when that's
Exactly.
implemented. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, and we also have the notion of the member ID, which is a hash of all the information on their original application to the co-op. And that just proves that this is, at any time, this can prove that this is the same person that originally applied to the co-op.
Can't that be reconstructed by somebody?
Nope.
It's the same pieces of information, right? For everybody.
It's the information that they filled out. Everybody fills out different information, but it includes all the information they filled out, and it's a hash which you can't reverse. You can't, you can say, this is the information I applied with, and you can generate the same hash. But you can't determine the information from the hash, right?
But if I know you, I can say, this is probably the information that Jim applied with, and then generate a hash.
Yeah, you might be able to do that. And,
Okay.
the ID, the hashed ID is not really a secret.
Uh-huh. Okay.
It's not
It
exposed
just,
more
yeah.
than necessary, but it'll be known among members.
yeah.
Members will know.
And it makes it unique.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are Chloe and Matt doing?
So the idea is that we send them a code using an e-card service.
Uh-huh.
So we send them an e-card that has their code on it, and their member ID. That's I guess the use case has evolved. The use case in the current version of the contract is not doesn't reflect what it's evolved to at this point. We still have to complete the design work on exactly how we're going to do it. But
so the user receives a postcard with their hash on paper, and then they have to type it in?
Well, I don't think we're going to make them type it in. Yeah.
Let's just do a PIN code.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could create a code that we send.
QR code.
Using the first 4 and the first 10 and the last 10 addresses, and that can be or some number from the beginning and the end or whatever by some rule, so that we generate a code. And when they enter the code in the blockchain contract, that's a secondary proof that they control that Ethereum ID. Or it gives us a second Ethereum ID that they control.
Yeah. Well, we could also put a QR code on the postcard. That's
true. That's very true. Thank you. I knew there was a way to get around this.
This user unfriendliness. Yes, there must be a way.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely send them a QR code. The problem is, or one problem, entering the QR, reading the QR code into the parity field. I don't know if that's supported. We may need to work with parity folks to get a button there for a camera button on your inputs.
They must have that, and if they don't, they should. So we'll contribute that.
Yeah. So
Sorry, I was just looking up, reading more about parity while we were chatting.
all right.
Just looking at their some of the data on their website. So it looks like they're building also an IoT client down the road. Amazing. Okay. So a super thin client to Ethereum is that's their goal. Anyway, sorry, got us back on the other subject there. So what's that's interesting. Are you the what are kind of your next steps? Getting parity to build, I assume.
Yeah. The first thing is to get it to build, and then modifying the home page to have links relevant to the community. Is a simple task for noobs maybe to latch onto.
Yeah.
And then, of course, adding the mailing address verification, and then hopefully integrate UPort with that. And we can use that hasn't been designed yet, but the UPort identity could be connected with the mailing address verification. We want a way to link that UPort identity to the R-chain identity. And actually, Parity does have plans. It is on the roadmap to support UPort, but they don't have to support it in order for us to create an identity and link it, even if we don't use it for much initially. I mean, I would say we would want to have the proof discovery in UPort for whatever proofs we have. Some way of discovering what the proofs are. And that's simply the fact that they have an address, a phone, and an email at this point.
Right.
But ultimately, links to whatever public information the person wants to expose, and the other proofs that they have, and essentially, a lot of this can come out of Sovereign in terms of rather than invent something new, we can use data formats that Sovereign uses when that's possible.
Yeah, I was just looking at, excuse me, the difference between if Viewport was following a similar model of as as Sovereign. Do you know? Do you know much about the internals of Viewport and their design?
Um, well, I looked at it in a lot, fairly detailed when it first came out. I haven't refreshed that, but I mean, there's a correspondence in creating persona and such within Uport.
Right.
So there's a correlation of functionality in creating a self-sovereign ID.
Right.
It's
Yeah. I guess in the case of yeah, and Sovereign, I guess these different the mailing address and other verifications would be claims that we accept to be verifiable claims.
right, and Sovereign, I think is having a release this month that we could actually play with. Although I mean, old stuff too, but they're getting closer. But I'm not sure if that's the best use of our time right now. I think
Yeah, I think just as far as the model I was asking. Yeah.
Yeah. At some point, we would actually want to mirror the proofs on Sovereign. Now, I don't know whether we would want to go the other way. Probably not. But it may need that they need, if they need the proof on Ethereum, we have to put it there. For the application. So there, and ultimately, then this will go on our chain. It'll be mirrored onto our chain as well. So, we're all sucked up by our chain, whatever. But at this point, our community rock distribution and workflows and other things are more of a priority for the community anyway.
Yeah.
With identity being the first requirement. Without identity, every application needs the identity. You can't build anything without it. I guess the other aspect of identity is the work with Solid and the HIE of one identity that we experimented with a few weeks ago. But those two efforts are put on the back burner for now until we get enough people involved in the work study to investigate these things in greater detail and hopefully bring them in to our universal identity and support OpenID and WebID and distributed identity standards, BID standards, and what else?
Right. Yeah, well, I could, sure, I see. Okay.
So in terms of this proof of concept that we're doing with Parity, it assumes that our chain activists are going to have a Parity client, and then within that client they can prove their identity, And then once that's proven, they can access other things within the RChain infrastructure via the Parity client.
Right. Our workflows would be automated in the client.
Right. Is it possible, do you think, in the Parity user interface to create a separate window or something that we can use just for our chain? Because I noticed when you shared your screen, you were sharing everything. And if I'm using Parity for other stuff, I might not want to share that.
Well, if you don't go to those screens, you won't see it, right?
That's true, yeah.
You know, when you're in Parity, if you click on something, it may open another window, you know, or tab.
Plus, I think you're thinking of of forking the Parity code, right?
Yes.
So
exactly.
I don't know what the new name of it'll be. It'll be our Parity or something. But it'll be a separate application just for our chain, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Rock wallet and browser.
Right. So then it would be possible for a user to have Parity for Ethereum tokens and the fork for Rock tokens.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, you know that you know. I mean, there is the issue is if somebody that wants to a stock Parity wallet and a Rock wallet, and you know that is a problem.
Yeah.
The but the fact is that they can use they could use a
Well, the code is right there for obviously for an Ethereum client. That'll always be there if you're using that code base. So
right. It'll load equivalent in principle to a Parity wallet. But if they want another Parity wallet, they have to do it in another browser. Now, what we might do before we branded it as the Rock wallet, for general consumption, is package it in the browser shell so that it runs separately from your other browsers. I don't know. That's a possibility. Whatever. I'm not too worried about it now. The functionality of the Ethereum contracts and such can be accessed from with any Ethereum wallet. You know, it can be run from myetherwallet.com.
The folks that'll be working on I'm sorry, my throat is terrible today. The folks that'll be working on the on this code, is that the activist group that you're talking about?
Yeah, well,
I suppose anybody that wants to, but
yeah. There might be some Divi work study students working on it that are not activists, but I don't think we're going to be doing anything secret.
Yeah, this is all open development. Yeah. Cool. It seems like something that could be done that wouldn't be extremely technical is even maybe drafting fake screenshots of what this browser might look like. You know, they're mock-ups. They're just images from a, Photoshop or, just images, but they, like, you could even take screenshots of the current parody browser and scrub out the pieces that, erase the pieces that aren't relevant, and put in, you could have conversation and discussion around what it might look like in the future, kind of give people a target of, one, to understand, and two, discuss, ways to discuss the future of it. I don't know if you've thought of that.
Yeah, well, it's, certainly thought about the design. I mean, but the process, the process is, hasn't been started. What we have at this point is we have a identity channel in.
I see, in the Slack.
No, this is in Mattermost. Okay.
Oh, it's in Mattermost.
This is part of our Mattermost test, and the activists have sort of latched onto Mattermost as the platform of choice over Slack.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're a member of this.
Well, it looks like I need to get connected in there.
So
Yes.
we'll get an invite link here, and I know there's an and,
yeah. Could you invite me?
Yeah, I could. There's the invite right there.
Okay, great.
And what I propose we do is we make a dashboard channel here, or what should we call it, rock dashboard, and work on the design there rather than in the more general identity discussion. I don't know, or we just continue here in identity. We'll start an identity. What is this thinking here? Okay. Hopefully we can create a team for the dashboard. I don't know if you'll volunteer for the team. I don't know if do you have any bandwidth, Kit, to be on the team?
Yeah, let me think about that. But I'll certainly get connected with this community and see what's going on there, just so I'm aware of the current steps.
Okay.
Well, Glenn, I like your idea of doing the mock-ups of the user interface. That's my preferred way to work, actually. you work out the design and then you decorate it with functionality.
Yeah, I mean, it's always top up, bottom down, or no, sorry, top down, bottom up.
Right.
You always have to do all of it, but
Yeah, both directions.
And if the noobs are going to get anything done, they really have to know what they're supposed to do.
yeah, I mean, you always have to stay flexible that things can change, be accepting that, but
Well, they have to have direction,
yeah.
in terms of what they're trying to achieve. Most want to be told what to do, so we have to figure out what it is we want to do, and we should sort of get consent on what that is.
All right, I'm getting connected here in Mattermost. All right, well, at least I'm connected there. It looks like I need to add more channels of.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to create a new channel.
It's under
Yeah.
more.
Got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
I do the same thing every time. I click that plus thinking, okay, here's how I add a channel.
And it is how you add a channel. It's how you add a new channel.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I'm connected there. Let me copy that to my notes. Well, good, guys. Well, I'm gonna, if there's anything more, if there isn't anything more, I think I'll call it a morning. It's beautiful here today, and it's our local airport has its annual air show and fly-in. So I have a friend who has a I don't know if you know, but I built my own airplane, and so I'm kind of into flying.
Awesome.
And I have a friend who has a Korean War era Jeep, and so they do this. You can get in free if you bring a classic Jeep type of military vehicles. So I think he and I are going to do that today.
Not going to
Where are
bring
you based, Glenn?
I'm in the Seattle area. I'm north of Seattle.
Aha, okay.
You're not going to fly in?
Yeah, well, my plane's down with a bad brake right now. I need to fix it, a brake. So
I guess that's as bad as having a boat, huh? Almost. Maybe.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
It's a labor of love, though.
Right. All right. Well, it's
Okay.
under here. It's I guess the rainy season here. We often have haze in the morning, and then we have sun alternating with thunder. Usually in the distance, though. I mean, it's nice out.
Sun is shining.
That's right. There's always there's those isolated thunderstorms that move all throughout Florida, right?
It's like I took the dogs out this morning for a walk, and I took them in the car and stopped at the store. But I could see which way the sun was to take the dogs. It was nasty at home when I left, but when I got to where I was walking the dogs, it was sunny and beautiful.
Yep. Nice.
You just have to, if you don't like the weather, you drive a mile.
Yeah.
Perfect. Good, guys. Good to see you, and we'll catch you again soon.
Okay. Good to
Yeah,
see you.
have fun at the air show.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So should we stop the recording? Is there anything else that we want to put on the record here?
Not off the top of my head. I'm just checking the log. We got everything in there. Yeah, I guess we're done for the day.
Thank you for contributing to the notes. Maybe we can get Glenn to contribute to work in the notes document next time. I know he's always taking notes.
Yeah. Hopefully, we can coax him to do more.
Yeah, I have a really difficult time when I'm taking notes. To participate, and I guess everybody does to some extent. But,
well, you can't do both. I mean, it's not possible to present and take notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I will end the recording.